Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. In today's video, we're going to be continuing with the Mars series. As I've already said, Mars is a nocturnal planet, which means that is one of those planets that is very difficult to understand logically, but we can really feel the power of Mars whenever we are angry or whenever we are, attuned to another person. When you're into somebody. That's how you can connect with your Mars. Mars is your animal instinct. It's that masculine yang part of your personality, of your being. It is the more unconscious part of your ego. Whereas your sun is a part of your ego that you can logically connect to. Mars is something that you can only connect to on a visceral level. Mars feelings are those that overtake you when you're in a fight, when you're having a disagreement with somebody, when somebody does something that just like irritates you, they're irritating your Mars. That's what they're coming into contact with. Not only that, but your Mars is also, turned on whenever you're connecting with somebody who is just, they're pressing the right buttons and your Mars is being like a little antenna. It's like ding, ding, ding. It's like aware. That's your Mars. So we're going to talk a little bit about the things that make Mars happy, so the things that turn Mars on, and the things that take them off, or the things that are turn-offs for the particular Mars sign. So today we're going to talk about Mars in Cancer. So this is one of my favorite, oddly enough, one of my favorite Marses. So Mars is in fall in Cancer. So what that means is that it's opposite the place where it's exalted. So Mars in Capricorn is exalted, which means that Mars is able to get a lot done whenever it is in Capricorn. It can do its job really well. Because remember, the planets are just kind of like people trying to do their job. And when it's in the sign of Cancer, it is in fall, which means that it's not able to do what it needs to do very well. So Mars is supposed to get you what you want and defend you, and that's about it. It's supposed to fight when it's time to fight and protect when it's time to protect. But when it's in Cancer, Cancer is ruled by the moon. Okay, so that's the feelings. And think about the moon representing a mother. So think about, whenever I think of Mars in Cancer, I really think of like a mama bear energy. Mars and Cancer people are very protective, not only of themselves, but of their friends and family. Whenever they have friends, they are extremely close to them and they will defend them to like the death. So having a Mars and Cancer on your side is really good. They are very protective, and in that protectiveness, they can kind of get defensive, because I always say this, I always call these the antennas, but Cancer people generally, but Mars and Cancer has their antennas on towards any sort of slight that could come towards them. They don't like people to be rude or be offensive towards them. And they're going to bite back immediately, like immediately. And not only that, but Mars in Cancer, and Cancer generally, but through Mars, because Mars is, your fighting spirit. So Mars in Cancer is the most savage person that you could fight with, because they will tell you something, they will bite back at you in a way that is going to crush you, because they're so intuitive. Cancers are very intuitive. So they know the things that hurt you, and they know you very well without you telling them, because that intuition, right? So when they say something, it's gonna be something that is true, but is so mean that no one would ever say that but an injured Cancer. Because when they're protecting themselves, remember that Cancer energy is cardinal, which means that it's on, it's very passionate and it really expresses itself. It has a need to express itself. So when Mars in Cancer is fighting, they play dirty. They immediately fight back and they will destroy you. You'll be destroyed. From always being on guard, Cancer could have a tendency to overreact, because as opposed to like Gemini, who's processing everything through their mind before they get angry, Mars in Cancer just process it through their other nocturnal planet, through their other feelings, So they process it through their feelings, and they're like, yep, that hurts. You're gonna get, like, I'm gonna attack you, right? So Cancer can have a tendency to react like immediately, and then later on they're just like, oh man, like I shouldn't have said that. But the good thing is that they don't necessarily, they're not very active. They're more likely to say something mean than do something mean, unless like, they go into rage, in which case, when Cancer strikes, I'm gonna make a video about that. Very in tune with the needs of their partner and the needs of the people around them, and that's a positive. So what ticks off Mars in Cancer? What makes them angry? What makes them fight? First of all, any type of offense that insists or suggests that they're weak, they're going to come for you, and they're going to show you just how unweak they are, because they're the kind of person who they're sensitive, right? So they do anything to prove that they're not soft. Okay, so they fight very angry. So anything that is going to insult their strength or their manliness, their manhood if it's a man, or their strength if it's a woman, or hey, we all have manliness in us. I defend my manliness too. So anything like that, and they're going to come for you immediately. Things that insult their abilities, what they're able to do for themselves and their family, that's going to insult them. Like I said, insult their family or their friends, and you're toast. You're absolutely toast. You just are. And whenever I think of Mars in Cancer, I think of David Masvidal, who is a MMA fighter, and he's not a Mars in Cancer. His Mars is in Capricorn, but his moon is in Cancer. And if you know anything about MMA, or if you care, he is the type of person who he's amazing. He seems like a really cool person, but if you insult him in the slightest sort of way, you're done. Like, he's done with you. If you say something about his family, he could kill you. Like, he will want to beat you to a pulp. And he's a fighter, so that's okay. But us regular people who are not fighters, that's not okay. Okay, Cancer, you can't do that. You have to calm down. You have to learn to calm down. Okay? I'm telling you this as a Mars and Aries. I need to work on that too. So what does turn them on? What does Mars in Cancer like? They love being nurtured. Mars in Cancer people, I have a friend who has moon in the first house. She's a very moony sort of lady. And Mars in Cancer dudes flock to her like the mommy they never had. They love being nurtured. They love women who cook, or if you're a woman with Mars in Cancer, you probably like men with Cancer-like traits nonetheless. If you don't, tell me in the comments. I'm interested in your opinion. So they like being nurtured. Somebody who's going to cook, somebody who's going to be sweet to them, somebody who's going to be like, oh baby, like, so who hurt you? Who did this to you? You want me to go beat them up? They like all that sort of shit. They're into that. Being taken care of, being wrapped in like love and like probably boobs, I'm not sure. But anything like that, being nurtured, anything that is like motherly, they're into that. Along that same vein, they really like being appreciated for their strengths because, they're a little bit sensitive. They're very strong, but they don't want people to think that they're weak. So when somebody notices their strength and is just like, hey man, like, good looking out, or like, thanks for protecting me, or like, I appreciate that you're protective of me, anything like that, thank you for taking care of me, that turns them on, makes them feel like manly, which this isn't the manliest Mars sign, right? It's in the sign of the moon. So it's not the manliest placement. So anything that makes them feel like the true men that they are, they're going to appreciate that, and it's going to get their Mars going. Food. Along that same vein of being nurtured, moms cook, moms feed their babies. Food. They really like food. It's very important to them. It's very important that it be home cooked. Very important. They can have a tendency to hold their passion in for a while because Cancer is kind of retentive. They can hold in their feelings and then they explode. So they could do the same sort of thing with their like sex drive. So they can have like build and build and build, and then they'll just attack you with love. Be on the lookout for that. And lastly, what turns them off? What do they not like? So they don't like people who are harsh, people that are offensive or brash in any sort of way. So the Aries, so the type of people who could offend them or just be unnecessarily abrasive, they're not gonna like that. They don't like people who are competitive, like in an ugly Aries sort of way. And I'm an Aries, ugly Aries Mars, so I understand. I'm not just talking shit about Aries. I embody it. So they don't like that. They're very sensitive to, their ego is a little bit sensitive. And I don't mean that in a bad way. We all have egos. We're all sensitive of things. So anybody that is going to make them feel small on purpose, they're not going to like that. They don't take kindly to that. So that turns them off. women or men that are just like kind of insulting, they're not gonna like that. Even in a playful way, they don't like to play around with that. Like, don't question their strength or their abilities, or you lose them. So that's the video for today, guys. If you liked it, make sure you give me a thumbs up. If you're not subscribed, subscribe to my channel. I put out astrology videos every single week, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye.